Good morning, friends. We are discussing about the neural system, means nervous system, and the coordination. In the last class, we have discussed about the structure of neuron and the conduction of the nerve impulse. Now see the central neural system. As you know that central nervous system consists of two parts, brain and spinal cord. The brain is the central information processing organ of our body and act as a command and control system. It controls the voluntary movements, balance of the body, functioning of vital involuntary organs like lungs, heart, kidney, etc. The brain is protected by the skull and covered by the cranial meninges. Cranial meninges have three layers. The outer layer is dura mater, middle layer is arachnoid, and the inner layer contact with the brain tissue, that is the pia mater. See the parts of brain. Cerebral hemisphere, corpus callosum, which connects the left and right brain. Then cerebral aqueduct. Brain is broadly divided into three parts: forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. Forebrain consists of cerebrum, and the hindbrain consists the brain stem, that is pons, cerebellum, medulla oblongata. Thalamus and hypothalamus are the part of the midbrain. Forebrain, the frontal part, they have three main parts of the cerebrum: thalamus and hypothalamus. The cerebrum longitudinally into two halves, which are termed as the left and right cerebral hemispheres. They are connected by a tract of nerve fibers called corpus callosum. The layer of cells which covers the cerebral hemisphere is called cerebral cortex. The cerebral cortex is referred to as the grey matter due to its greyish appearance due to concentration of neuron. It contains motor, sensory areas and the larger leisure areas. These regions, called as the association areas, are responsible for complex functions like intersensory associations, memory, and the communication. Fibers of the tract are covered with the myelin sheath, inner part of the cerebral hemisphere, an opaque white appearance layer that is known as white matter. The cerebrum wraps round a structure called thalamus, which is a major coordinating center for sensory and motor signaling. Hypothalamus lies at the base of the thalamus. It contains a number of centers which control body temperature, urge for eating and drinking. It also contains several group of neurosecretory cells which secrete hormones called hypothalamic hormones. The hypothalamus, it is involved in the regulation of sexual behavior, expression of emotional reactions. Midbrain, located between the thalamus and hypothalamus, a canal called the cerebral aqueduct passes through the midbrain. The dorsal portion of the midbrain consists mainly of four round swelling lobes called corpora quadrigemina. Midbrain and the hindbrain form the brain stem. Hindbrain consists three parts: pons, varoli, which consist of fiber tracts that interconnect different regions of the brain. Cerebellum has very convoluted surface. They provide extra space for many neurons. Medulla oblongata of the brain is connected to the spinal cord. It controls involuntary actions. See the reflex action and the reflex arc. Reflex actions are those actions which is not directly controlled by the brain. That reflex action protects our body from any unseen condition or any emergency condition. In this, the information returned back from the spinal cord only. In the cross-sectional view of the spinal cord, you will find the gray matter is inside and the white matter is outside, just opposite of the brain. In brain, gray matter is outside and white matter is the inside. In reflex action, two types of nerves are there, afferent and efferent. Afferent collect the information from any organs and that is sent to the spinal cord, and from there only the motor neuron carry the information for any action. So afferent is the sensory nerve and efferent is the motor nerve. And within the spinal cord that is connected with another neurons, that is the interneuron. In this diagram, knee jerk reflex action is shown. Reflex action and reflex arc, the entire process of response to a peripheral nervous stimulation that occurs involuntarily without requires the involvement of a part of the central nervous system is called reflex action. The reflex pathway comprises at least one afferent neuron, that is a receptor, and one efferent, that is excited. Neuron appropriately arranged in a series is called reflex arc. Now see the sensory reception and the processing. First is the eye. See the structure of eye. Eye is a globular structure that is filled with the fluid, that is known as vitreous fluid, and that is eyeball is surrounded with the three layers, that is sclera, choroid layer, and the innermost layer, that is the retina. Eyeball is divided into two chambers. The outer chamber, that is the aqueous humor, and the inner is the vitreous humor. Between that, lens is there, and just above the lens, the iris is there, that colorful part. Between that, a small opening is there, that is the pupil, and that is covered with the cornea, that is a glassy structure, and optic nerves collect the photosensitive stimulus to the brain, that arises from the retina. Our paired eyes are located in sockets of the skull called orbits. The wall of the eyeball have three layers. Sclera is the external layer, is composed of a dense connective tissue. Choroid, the middle layer, contains many blood vessels and looks bluish in color. It becomes thick in the interior part to form ciliary body. Cornea is the interior portion of this layer. The ciliary body continues forward to form pigmented and opaque structure called the iris. The in-front aperture surrounded by the iris is called pupil. The eyeball contains a transparent crystalline lens. The inner layer is the retina and it contains three layers of cells inside to outside: ganglion cells, bipolar cells, and photoreceptor cells. There are two types of photoreceptor cells, namely rods and cones. Optic nerves transmit signal to the visual cortex of brain to know the image. Next structure is the ear. There are three parts of the ear: external ear, medial ear, and internal ear. External ear consists of pinna and the external auditory canal. Middle ear consists of the three bones, that is malleus, incus and stapes. Between the middle ear and the external ear, that is tympanic membrane is there, that is the eardrum. Middle ear is filled with the air and the pressure is balanced with the eustachian tube that opens in pharynx. The internal ear consists of cochlea and the cochlear nerves, and the semicircular canals are there, that is filled with the liquid. Ear divided into three parts. Outer ear consists of pinna, external auditory meatus. The external auditory meatus extend up to the tympanic membrane, that is the eardrum. They are very fine hairs and wax secreting sebaceous gland in the ear canal. The middle ear have three ossicles, one another in chain-like fashion, that is malleus. It is attached to the tympanic membrane. Incus help to vibrating effect. Stapes is attached to the oval window of the internal ear, that is cochlea. Eustachian tube connects the middle ear cavity with the pharynx and equalizing the pressure in the air. The fluid-filled inner ear called labyrinth consists of two parts, the bony and the membranous labyrinth. The coiled portion of the labyrinth is cochlea. The space within the cochlea called scala media is filled with the endolymph. The base of the cochlea, the scala vestibuli, ends at the oval window. Hearing of sound. The organ of Corti is a structure located on the basilar membrane which contains hair cells that act as auditory receptors in the cochlea. A large number of processes called stereocilia are projected from the apical part of each hair cells. Above the rows of the hair cells is a thin elastic membrane called tectorial membrane. The inner ear also contains a complex system called vestibular apparatus located above the cochlea. The vestibular apparatus is composed of three semicircular canals and the otolith organs consisting of the scula and the utricle. Each semicircular canal lies in different plane. The vestibular apparatus helpful the maintenance of the balance of the body posture. So ear performs two functions. First is to receive the sound, that is the phonoreceptors, and the second function is to maintain the balance of the body. So the internal ear performs both the functions, that is the sound and the balance of the body.